WWT presents Experts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of WWT Experts. I am your host, Matthew Coble. Delighted to be here as always. And today I'm hosting not one, but two experts from Worldwide Technology in this episode of our four-part series about the media, entertainment, and gaming industry and how that vertical approaches stuff like data center and cloud, networking, security, and today's topic, digital. So I've got two experts with me here. Kyle Lindsey is a principal consultant at Worldwide Technology and is leading our efforts in the media, entertainment, and gaming industry. If you want to talk about artificial intelligence, digital twins, virtual reality, augmented reality, infrastructure, all the things it takes to make that vertical do very well, Kyle's your guy. Manju Palakkat is also with us as a digital expert, and she is a digital product director with Worldwide Technology and leads large-scale digital transformation initiatives with our clients to help them solve those complex business problems they face by bringing forward really smart digital strategy and all the advanced technologies that it takes to create great solutions. Delighted to have them here with us today. So Kyle, Manju, thanks for coming.
Thanks, Matt. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Matt. Really excited.
Yeah, very good. Let's jump in. So Kyle, first question to you. So customers and clients across industries have really rising expectations when it comes to their digital experiences with a brand. We all experience that day to day as we move through the world. And really the gaming industry is no different. So what are players' expectations when it comes to their gaming experience, and how are game studios meeting those demands that we have today?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, of how you could boil it down, and I kind of boiled it down to 3 Ps. So performance, persistence, and personalization. And what do I mean by those? So personalization is kind of what we all expect, right? We interact with all of our forms of entertainment, retail, consumerism, and we want to be known. We want to have that kind of recommendation. It's just baked in now. We want persistence. We want persistence not only in a gaming experience, but this omni-channel kind of concept of where it carries with us. So you want a game to not, when the game's over, you turn it off, you turn it back on, everything's still there and it carries over. And then performance, and not just necessarily from performance from like a network and a latency standpoint, but you want everything to be performant. Every click, every interaction, the performance needs to meet your expectations.
Manju, how about your thoughts on that, and maybe extrapolating into that broader set of expectations we have around customer experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, when you think of the gaming environment today, it's really shaped by the broader trends that you see in technology and digital consumer experiences. So I think as a result of that, gamers, in addition to what Kyle said, it has become like a social experience, right? Where players expect multiplayer features. They want seamless online transactions. They want that community support. They also expect like fairness and transparency. So what I mean by that is, with in-game purchases and microtransactions, so they expect to sort of like a level playing field and clear communication about, okay, what is it going to cost me? What are the benefits if I purchase something? In addition to all of that, they also expect effective customer support because they expect, if I have a problem with my game or, something's not working the way it should, I need that quick and helpful response. Overall, they're expecting value for money, in the sense, what is the value proposition offered by this gaming investment? This applies to whether it's direct purchases, subscription models, freemium models, it doesn't matter, but there's that expectation of that fairness and that value for money that gamers expect.
Well, Kyle, so what should the leaders in the gaming industry really focus their time on moving forward in order to deliver on these evolving and ever-advancing customer experiences that we all have?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of break it down between like the CX, the consumer side of the experience, and then the EX, the employee experience. One thing that I was actually thinking about is just from the EX, from the employee experience, that the video game industry has gone through some rough times, and 10,000 layoffs in last year, this year up to 8,000 layoffs. So how do the companies actually enhance their EX, their employee experiences?
Well, Manju, why don't you build on that if you would, because I think we also care a lot about Worldwide Technology, about both the CX and the EX side of things. So what do you think of as the state of employee experience in the gaming industry? Are they, notwithstanding the layoffs that Kyle described, are they behind? Are they ahead? Are they doing a good job? Need to continue improving? Like, what's the state of affairs there, and how does that connect to the broader market around EX?
Yeah, I think it's well known that when you think about the gaming industry, it's very fast-paced. It's a very innovative type of environment. And what that means is, from an employee experience standpoint, they're typically dealing with like crunch times, high stress levels. Sometimes there's inconsistent communications across departments. So the industry, in my opinion, it presents sort of a unique mix of challenges and opportunities. And so when you think about all of the technological advancements that's happening within the industries, what that means is employees must now learn and adapt on a continual basis. And this can be both motivating and stressful. So I think one of the things that leaders have to keep in mind is, think about the realities that employees are faced with. They could definitely benefit from breaking down silos, for example, across the organization so that there's enhanced collaboration and innovation. Ensure that there's appropriate level of visibility into the right information at the right time. Allow or enable employees to make those informed decisions quickly. That's going to be extremely crucial in this fast-paced industry. And finally, even from a technological standpoint, think about your ecosystem. Unify these systems so that you can streamline processes and reduce those inefficiencies and that friction that comes from using multiple disjointed systems.
All right, well, I know that we're all hearing a lot about this thing called artificial intelligence these days. So I'm curious, how do you both see AI fitting into the gaming industry, media, entertainment, and is that really going to press things forward? Are people in the industry worried about that? Are they excited about it? How are they feeling about it?
So I think artificial intelligence is a very integral part of the gaming industry. So it plays a very pivotal role in shaping whether you look at it from the perspective of game development, enhancing those player experiences, or for that matter, even influencing business models. So I'll speak to a few use cases, in the context of customer experience and employee experience. When you look at customer experience, personalization is going to be extremely important within this industry as it relates to gameplay and content. So AI algorithms that analyze player behavior, personalizing those game experiences, offering tailored content and multiple, difficulty levels and in-game recommendations. All of this is going to matter to that individual player. Dynamic game environments, for example, you want to be able to leverage AI to dynamically alter these different environments based on real-time player actions so that it creates that immersive or responsive gaming experience. When you think about employee experience, think about things like, okay, how do you drive further efficiency? For example, streamlining development processes. AI can automate routine tasks, such as code generation or asset tagging or quality assurance. And so this allows your employees or the developers to focus on creative and complex problems. And that in turn will enhance productivity and job satisfaction. You can leverage AI for talent acquisition, where you can, enhance human resources to optimize their recruiting, onboarding, employee management, and so forth.
Yeah, it's going to impact everything. We're seeing it today, right? A fun use case that we've been exploring lately is, well, I will start by saying that the game industry is approaching generative AI specifically cautiously. They're very early in kind of general AI, but from a generative standpoint, they are being very cautious on its impact on its creator side. But a very interesting one lately is when you interact with a non-player character, generally their dialogue trees are very small. You have 1, 2, 3 sentences that each of the individual non-player characters will interact with. But being able to leverage generative AI to create a more kind of expansive dialogue tree where it goes out 50 branches, 100 branches, 200 branches. It's not quite the nirvana of having a chat GPT-ish behind a non-player character. That's still very expensive. But you can see leveraging very practical applications for Gen AI is an exciting part of the space.
Well, Kyle, if I build on that a little bit, like when you're talking about Gen AI, I thought you were going to talk about more the visual environments, and I appreciate the creators are kind of wary of that. But are game studios really helping create the new dynamic visual environments with this, or are they sort of pulling back on that and focusing on the work that their creatives can do?
I see a lot of it in the environmentals and the landscapes, probably more so than the actual characters. But I believe it's coming. It's still early. Like I said, they're just approaching it cautiously.
Yeah. So good opportunity. I got to figure out how to work it into the business, right? Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Riverbed, the leader in unified observability. Unlocking the full potential of your digital experience has never been more accessible with Riverbed's AI-powered observability solutions and industry-leading Riverbed acceleration. Empower the digital experience with Riverbed.
Well, Manju, I want to back up to some of the things that you spoke about around AI and kind of the conversation we've had in general. Like there's a lot of complexity here, right? There are so many things that we could be doing. It feels like it might be daunting to some to figure out how do I start? So as you work with clients, you're talking about in the marketplace, things to do and how to prioritize. How do you lead clients forward and help them prioritize? What should audiences really tackle first in some of those areas?
So I think it starts with, honestly, understanding your users. It's important to develop personas so that you lay that foundation for all of your future decision-making, what features to prioritize, what functionality matters to them. And what I mean by developing the personas is like when you consider a gaming environment, the reality is that players, for example, they have diverse platform preferences. So for example, somebody like a console, somebody like PC, some may prefer to do mobile or cloud gaming, right? So their preferences from a platform varies. Their motivations vary. So they may be driven by challenges or achievements or social interactions or immersion and so forth. Their behaviors while playing a game varies. So for example, some of them maybe they prefer to play in the evening hours, or they like to sit at a stretch and play for 8 hours straight. So that frequency and duration matters. What is their behavior while they're playing the game? Meaning, do they interact with socially with other people? Do they enjoy various mechanics like combat and puzzle solving, things like that? So understanding all of those different personas really matter, because once you understand those personas and what your users really want, then it helps you to prioritize. And my recommendation would be start small. Choose a specific manageable sort of use case or project to start with. And that allows you to sort of demonstrate the value of what you're offering without overwhelming your internal resources or throwing too much at your user base. And then you measure and adjust, involve your stakeholders, focus on internal training and change management. And, so when you take these very focused approaches, you can gradually sort of build that confidence and expertise and sort of pave the way for more complex implementations in the future.
Yeah, I completely agree with Manju. I think an interesting aspect of it is the operations side of kind of the care and feeding of AI as we start like productizing and bringing these out into production on a day-to-day basis. We have a concept within gaming of live ops. They're very cautious on how they roll things out in a live ops environment. So they will be extra cautious when it comes to AI derivatives. So I think that part of it is very interesting.
All right, well, hang on, Kyle. I want to kind of build on that a little bit, right? So you spoke about operations, you also spoke about live ops. I want you to kind of build on both of those a little bit, and what can others out there, whether in gaming or any other industry, learn about what these companies are doing in those two areas?
Yeah, so when I think about it, I think of operations as your normal, right? Operating kind of the game environment, the enterprise, the building, the development. Live ops is very specific within gaming. It kind of describes these games that are very persistent, that are always on. This world that you can leave and you can come back to, but that world has moved on. Somebody's chopped down a tree, that tree is gone. So what I think of is when we're talking about these small steps, how do we start? I always just like to caution my folks to start small. When we're dealing with these type of critical aspects of the game, is look for an MVP, look for something that you can actually start getting your teams used to and working, and how to troubleshoot when you're in these live environments.
Well, Kyle, if you look forward a little bit, like what are you excited to see? What's next for customer experience in the gaming industry? Any trends that we're going to see, or media entertainment as well?
Yeah, actually, I think one of the things that excites me the most as a long-suffering waiter of certain AAA titles that take 5, 7, 10 years to turn around, I'm just excited to see the games come out faster. Some of these AAA titles, I'd like to see them yearly, right? Instead of these 7 to 10 year cycles, that rapid creation of content. And that applies to media as well. Imagine having one of your favorite series be able to turn around on a yearly basis, on an every 6 months basis. I think the eagerness for the consumption of entertainment is there. It's just, I think these technologies will help enable the speed and the scale to create these just amazing experiences.
Well, I want to ask you about that and drill in a little bit, because I totally agree. I mean, I'd love to see some of the games that I love, the next gen of those come out, or television shows, or what have you. Is that going to put any of the quality at risk, or do you think that the technologies will help support the level of quality they're looking for, but really just speed the cycles of development?
It'll be a balance, for sure.
Okay.
You will see an increase, and probably you'll see some suffering of quality, but the marketplace works really well there. And I think the developers, the producers of quality content will get rewarded in the long run.
Well, Manju, I want to pass that same question to you as well. So what do you see as being next for CX in media entertainment and gaming?
Sure. So I think for me, what's exciting is, especially with all the advancements in Gen AI, for example, just layering on that voice interaction layer. So basically the integration of voice commands and sophisticated AI interactions, I think is anticipated to rise. So the technology will allow for more of that natural, intuitive way for players to interact with the games. It transforms that gameplay mechanics and user interfaces. So that's definitely one area that I'm pretty excited about. And another one I think is from a blockchain and play to earn models. So how can you leverage blockchain technology? And how can you secure the in-game purchases even further? You create these new economic models such that you can do play to earn, where players can gain real world value from their in-game achievements in trading. That sort of a model is pretty exciting to look forward to as well.
Interesting. So, all right, last question for both of you. I imagine that some who are watching are in the media, entertainment, and gaming industry, but there are probably lots of others who are watching who are not. So I'm curious if you've got 2 or 3 key takeaways that for those who aren't in the industry, what's going on in this marketplace, in this industry, that either from a customer experience standpoint, employee experience standpoint, one of the 1, 2, 3 things you really would tell me, hey, you should really pay attention to these things and learn from them that the industry is doing. Kyle, why don't you take that first?
Yeah, I would say that watch specifically the video game kind of vertical, as we call it. It's always been the leading edge of technology. Whether it be very early use cases of AI with some of the chess and Go. I think that if you keep an eye on video games and trajectory of video games, where they're going and how consumers consume them, you will find eventually so goes healthcare, so goes finance, so goes big enterprises. Video games really lead the way.
Mm-hmm. Manju, how about you?
I think for me, it is really the personalization component. So when I think about when you're in a game, how the industry focuses on that engagement aspect, the personalization aspect, how do they make it more inclusive, no matter who the player is. So I really think that that's something that applies across a multitude of different industries. To Kyle's point earlier, whether it's healthcare or you take the retail sector, I really think that there's a lot of learnings that you can gain from that.
Excellent. Well, I love how you two are doing great work in media, entertainment, and gaming, but also looking at ways that can then share expertise, learnings, and so forth out across other industries with our clients and with the marketplace in general. So excellent stuff. Thank you so much for coming today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming today as well. Another great WWT Experts session. Again, this is part one of 4 parts that we're doing on media, entertainment, and gaming. So if you enjoyed this, you might want to go check out the episodes we've got on data center and cloud, networking, and also security. And not only that, there's all kinds of great content like this out on WWT.com. So head to WWT.com/events. You can see the calendar of what's coming up, and you've got a whole back catalog of stuff that you can watch on demand anytime right there on the website. We'd love to hear your feedback. If you get a survey, let us know how we did. Drop us an email and share that with us. We always love to hear from you. Thank you for coming today, and we will see you next time. Take care.